In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Matas Buzelis and his basketball shooting form. He's got a really good, solid form for the size of player that he is, and of course, the level of play that he's currently playing at. So let's get down, let's check out his shooting form and what makes him such a great basketball player. And of course, if you want to be able to shoot the basketball better, make sure to go check out my shooting workout that is down in the description below. Now, I don't normally look at floaters when it comes to shooting form videos, but I really wanted to break down his floater because there's a lot of things that are really good in how he does his floater. So when he goes up for his floater, the first thing that I really want to make sure of is the player's shoulder and elbow in line, just like an actual shot. You want to make sure that that ball is on top of the upper arm and the shoulder and elbow are in line with the rim. This creates the shooting triangle that will always allow you to have the straight shot. And then when he goes up for his floater, if you actually watch really closely on that ball, there's very little spin on that ball. You want it to be almost like a knuckleball where there's no spin on that ball when it's going in. We can kind of see it really good from this angle as well. Again, no thumb flick either, which is perfect. You want to make this almost like a cross between a layup and a shot. And we can see that there is a little bit of rotation on that ball, which is fine, but generally speaking, you want to have the least amount of backspin on a floater, mainly because you want it to hit that rim so super soft. And while normally super soft means lots of spin, on a floater that is not the case. Now, when we go to his shot, we can see that he's got really good one motion shot. He's got some really good rotation, but let's actually really break this down really slow. So when he receives that ball, he's on both feet. He takes a step in with his right foot. This allows him to get his right side in line with the rim. If he was just to catch right-left, that left foot would really mess things up. He would not be in line. So by catching on 2 feet and stepping forward with his right foot, that is what's going to allow him to get his right side in line. We can also see that he is up on his toes. This engages the Achilles, which is the springiness behind your jump. So generally speaking, you can get a little bit more springy in your jump if you're on your toes. When we look at the angle of his knees, we can see that he's around 90 degrees, around 100 degrees. A lot of coaches will say that you want to be at 90 degrees. That's not always the case. You want it to be somewhat comfortable. 90 degrees to me usually means too far. 100 degrees is kind of a good area to be in. Again, a lot of coaches will also say 90 degrees at the hips, but you're not going to see that. That's just usually going to mean that you're going to take up too long to take your shot. However, players like Steph Curry do get pretty close to 90 degrees on the hips / back, and that is because they use a lot more of their lower back than they do of their legs. The lower back is actually what you should be using more of if you're trying to get further distance on your shots. So a lot of my workouts will consist of lower back workouts just because of that. So again, you can check out that book down below. Now, when he receives this pass, if we look at his dip, his arms are at roughly 90 degrees. And if we watch his elbow, this is something that I really do like to watch as well. When he brings the ball up, he is not really changing the bend in his elbow. It's pretty well staying the same all the way up to his set point, which is generally right above his forehead. This is very important because this is a nice high set point. It's not near his chest like a lot of younger players. This is why. For younger players who shoot from the chest, this is why. Look at where this hand is. It doesn't have that far to go to block the shot. Versus here, that's got a lot farther of a distance to be able to cover, to be able to block or at least contest that shot. He has good one motion. He extends his back first. He then extends his knees. He's then obviously still pushing off from his toes, which is engaging that Achilles. He starts by pushing the ball up. A lot of players will try to push the ball out first, but he pushes the ball up. This is going to give him a little bit more loft on the ball. He has a very super high release. And he still, even if it wasn't being contested, he still has a fairly high release as it is. His elbow is very high above his forehead. And that does help him not getting blocked. And he has a good amount of rotations on that ball too. If we see now the ball coming down on that rim, right about here, I know it's kind of blurry, but I really wanted to point this out. Roughly, that's where it's about to hit. It's coming down at around a 54-ish degree angle. That is a bit high. Usually, if it's too high of a drop, what will happen is if it hits the rim, there's a higher chance of it bouncing out. You generally want it to be roughly around 40 to about 45 roughly degrees. And then if we zoom in, I know this is really hard to really pinpoint. However, a lot of shooters, a lot of really good shooters are taking their palm and keeping it on the ball. I know we all get taught to have your palm on the ball. However, more and more shooters, for example, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, a lot of those players are currently keeping their palm on the ball. What I find is that gives more backwards rotation and more control or more aim over that ball. However, with your palm off the ball, it does give you more control of the ball if your arm was to get hit. However, at the same time, by having your palm off the ball, you are now reducing the amount of spin on the ball, and you're reducing the ability to have aim because now you are going to be more inclined to overgrip the ball. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. Make sure to go check out my shooting workout that is down in the description below. My camera has died, that's why you're not seeing my face right now. And I hope that this video has helped you become a better shooter. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.